F you and your New Year's resolution. Okay? This is one of the biggest bullshits, useless, dumb, worthless things I've ever heard. People wait till the new year to set a goal. Or people think, okay, now is the time to reset. Now is the time to, now I can move forward with my life. It's just procrastination. It's just complete procrastination. And as you know, gyms and all of these other seasonal affairs, they tend to do the best. Well, not in terms of lifetime value, but they tend to do the best in terms of 1 month. In like January, anything that people want to improve on, supplement companies, all of these hair growth, whatever it is, they tend to have good Januaries, right? They also have good Q4s, good Decembers, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But for them, it just kind of carries on into the January as well. It's because people think, you know what? Now is the time to change my life. I'm going to start January 1st. That's when I'm going to start. That's when I'm going to change my life. It's just bullshit. If you actually cared enough and it was that big of an issue, you would have done it a long time ago, right? It doesn't make sense for you to say, you know what, I'm going to start doing it now on the 1st of January. I'm going to make it my New Year's resolution. Things that matter the most don't wait. They just do. You just start doing them, right? That's why people say, like I've heard Chris William quote somebody, I don't know who he quoted, but he said, people are better off, worse off, right? The worse your position is, or your situation is, the more likely you are to change something. So a specific date in time or day is not going to change your situation, right? Your life's not going to change on January 1st. Just think about it, right? If I said, you know what, I'm speaking to my friends, I'm having this conversation with my friends, and I'm telling them about my business ventures, I'm telling them about gym, I'm telling them about all of these things, and I say to them, you know what, next Thursday 7 p.m. I'm going to start. Next Thursday 7 p.m. That's when I'm going to start. That's when my life changes. Your friend's going to look at you like, what? Why next Thursday? 1 fortnight from now, 3 weeks, the last Friday of September is when I'm going to start. Why then? Why does any of those dates hold any weight? It changes nothing, right? For you to say, oh, I'm going to start 3 Thursdays away from now. The 4th Thursday of the month is when I'm going to start. It makes no sense, but people still believe, oh yeah, New Year's resolutions, that's when I'm going to start changing my life and whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like, I wouldn't have much issue with this if it weren't for this one specific thing. This one specific thing is is my biggest quarrel with this. It's just the fact that when people have a New Year's resolution and they don't gain it or they don't get it, they always say, okay, you know what, this year is not my year. They wouldn't say that specifically, but they would just like lay it off and burn out and like wait maybe like a few weeks, few months before feeling that sense of motivation again, because they feel like the year that they've started has already ruined and they have to wait for another reset. So they're like, you know what, Monday I'm going to start, or Friday I'm going to start, or whatever day it is, it doesn't really matter. Okay, you know what, it's the 28th of December, right now I'm going to start on the 1st of Jan, or it's the 28th of February, I'm going to start on the 1st of... It doesn't make sense, right? But it's just because people feel like they need a clean slate to try something. And that idea of, oh, I need a clean slate, leads to more procrastination, because a day not worked is a day lost. Every single time you don't work on one specific thing and you leave it, and you just... you just chill, spoke a different language there for a sec. You're just chilling, living life, doing nothing, and then you just end up wasting that day. It's a waste of a day, right? And that's my biggest quarrel with it. It's just that people think, alright, now I'm done. I failed. Now I'm moving on to something even worse than this, that I couldn't even think that could be worse than that, but it kind of ties into it. The worst thing after that is for someone to make a promise to themselves and then not keep it, because you don't understand the psychological impact that thing has, and the belief that diminishes in yourself, right? If you cannot believe your own word, how are you supposed to give your word to others? How am I going to say, Jamal, I promise you I'm going to do this thing for you. Jamal, I promise you I'm going to get you sweets. I'm going to bring you sweets back from the takeaway shop. take you to a shop for sweets. I'm gonna bring you sweets back from the shop, whatever, blah blah blah. And then I don't do it. I'm not a man of my word. In more, you know, actual real life terms, if I say to this guy, I promise I'm not gonna tell anybody your secret, and then I go and I blabber my mouth and I tell everyone, that means I'm not a man of my word, right? That in itself is kind of hard to keep. There's not that many people who are men and women of their word, but when it comes to being a man or a woman of your word to yourself, there's even less. There's almost one or zero. There's almost zero. Just because of the fact that people cannot keep promises to themselves, because it is the easiest to do. It is the easiest to break. Promises to yourself are the easiest to break, because the only person you're disappointing is yourself, and you know how well you can kind of psychologically manipulate yourself into thinking, you know what, it was because of this reason, it was because of that reason, or I did this because of that, or it wasn't my fault, it was his fault. Shifting accountability away from yourself, and it's easy to do when it's yourself, right? But then when you make a promise to somebody else, oh, I'm gonna come to your baby shower, and you don't come, they don't really care about the fact that, oh yeah, you had this one specific issue, blah blah blah. Most of the time they're just gonna be like, you didn't come to my baby shower, they're gonna be hurt. Obviously it's an important day, right? But for yourself, if you say, you know what, I'm gonna go gym today, and you didn't go, nothing changes. You have nobody's feelings that you're gonna be hurting, no one's life that you're gonna be changing, no perceptions or no status that you have to upkeep, right? You don't want people to think bad of you. You care about other people's opinions more than the opinion of yourself. That's the biggest issue that I see with this New Year's resolution. It's because it leads to one road, and the road is caring about other people's opinions more than you care about yourself, and not caring about yours. The latter is more important, not caring about yours. The perception that you have of yourself is the most important perception. People tell me occasionally, oh Jamal, you're an egotistical bastard. You get me? Because I say egotistical things, but I say egotistical things because I truly believe them and I act upon them, right? That's the difference between confidence and arrogance. Actually, there's also another difference, but we'll leave that for another day. But yeah, so people always tell me, Jamal, you're quite egotistical, which I feel happy about, because that means I have a great perception of myself. I feel like I can do this one thing, I can do better, I can change my life, I can change my family's lives, I can do all of these things. But then when people say, oh Jamal, you seem insecure, Jamal, you seem quiet, Jamal, you seem reserved, blah blah blah, like, I'm not saying something negative with this, but I'm saying those three specific, they tend to lead to a lack of like self-confidence, a lack of self-esteem, self-belief, right? I would rather be the former 10 times over. Call me egotistical, call me delusional, call me arrogant even, right? But that just means I have higher sense of self, I have higher sense of belief in myself, right? And that comes when I make the New Year's resolution and I act upon it, because I believe that I need to do this one thing, because the perception that I have for myself is the most important perception that you can have. You get me? So, just to wrap up, okay, stop being a donut, okay, stop making promises that you can't keep, okay, when you have a New Year's resolution, make it something small, make it something, not small, make it something achievable, right? I want to, like, there's a position that I want to be in that is incredible. I want to be a multi-millionaire, inshallah. I want to be having jacked, I want to have a nice, good family, I want to be on my deen, all of these things, right? But if I just said, you know what, I'm going to start all of that on the 1st of January, and I'm going to become that all on the 1st of January, I want to be a jacked millionaire with family, wife and kids from January. It's unrealistic, right? It's because it's something that you need to build to be that person. The person that you are now isn't that person who wants that specific goals and achievements. You're not the same person. There's a big difference between who you are and what, like, that person is, right? It's a change in identity more than anything. It's not changing like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna gain money, I'm just gonna gain muscle. To become someone who's jacked, to become someone who's rich, to become someone who's on his religious path, you need to have a change in identity. The only reason you are not where you want to be is because you are not the type of person to be able to do so. If me, Jamal, right now, as of while I'm speaking, was able to make $1 million, as in with the skill sets that I have and the mindset and the knowledge and everything that I have currently, and my assets, the skills, the attributes, all the badges that I have, I would have done it, but I don't, because I don't have them. Completely realistic, right? So you should not believe in the person that you are now. You should believe in the person that you can become, and you believe in your ability to become that person, right? Don't say, yeah, I'm gonna believe in myself, whatever, blah blah blah. I believe in my ability to become the person I want to be. Right? There's a big difference. You can't say I believe in myself to be a millionaire right now. I can become a millionaire tomorrow. No, you can't. That's more than delusion. That's being an idiot. That's being stupid. That's being illogical. You have to think with things through a logical frame always, right? You can be optimistic, obviously, and delusional, obviously. But I'm not gonna say Jamal. Right now, I can jump over this and I can fly. No, I can't. No matter how delusional I am, it's not possible for me to fly. Just jump over and fly right now, right this second. However, if I now say, you know what, I want to fly, and I'm going to become the person that can fly, then I go and I go behind, I get some machinery, I get some wings, I get some like jetpack, whatever, blah blah blah. Now I can fly. But am I the same person as I was before? Or am I equipped with the same skills, the same attributes? No, because now I have a jetpack, nigga. I'm different. I'm changed. But people still believe, oh yeah, I can do it right now. I can't do it right now because I'm not physically able, because I don't have the skills, I don't have the attributes, I don't have the machinery, I don't have the capability. But then for me to be working on my craft and becoming the person that has the jetpack, then I can fly to Pakistan if I wanted to. I can fly wherever I want. So you gotta think about it logically. Believe in yourself to the person that you want to be, and the only way you can believe in yourself and the person you want to be is by keeping promises to yourself. So finally, F you and your New Year's resolutions. That's all bullshit. If you wanted something, you do it now and you start now, and regardless of whether you fail or not, you either learn or you either make money, which is a win-win. And even if you don't learn, it's actually impossible that you don't learn, because you learn now that business model doesn't work, and the reasoning as to why was because of this and because of that, right? And now you can see those tendencies in other business models in the future, say like, oh, this is something that I've seen. So it's almost impossible for you not to learn something, unless you've actually not tried the business. If you're just sitting on a business for 6 months without doing anything, just creating a website or whatever, that's not learning the business, that's not doing the business. So actually do the shit, do the business. Don't just like jack off in the corner. Alright, love you guys, bye.